So, what do we truly value? I mean, really value? It's a question that feels more and more urgent these days, doesn't it? Today, we're going to dig into that, but we're going to start with a really powerful story from the past. It's a lesson that was learned during a time of crisis, and believe me, it shines a crazy bright light on just how fragile our modern world really is. Let's get into it.
Just let that sink in for a second. This one sentence, this memory passed down from a grandmother who actually lived through World War II, well, it's the jumping off point for this whole explainer. It's such a powerful reminder of a time when the entire idea of wealth got completely flipped on its head.
Okay, so let's go back to that time. Picture this. It's Japan during the war. A young girl is being evacuated from the city, sent away for her safety, and this journey she's about to take, it's going to teach her a lesson that she would carry with her for the rest of her life. Imagine you're just a kid. Your parents send you away for safety, and they give you the family's most prized possessions to look after, a wad of cash and these beautiful, valuable komodos. But when you get to the countryside, you find out the truth, a really harsh truth. All those things, they're worthless. The real wealth belonged to the farmers, the people who actually grew the food. Because in a real crisis, you can't eat money. You can't wear silk to keep from starving. The only thing that mattered was getting your next meal. Okay, so that was then, right? A story from the war. You might be thinking, what does that have to do with us today? I mean, we're so far removed from that kind of scarcity. Or are we? Let's take a closer look because you might be surprised. Wow, this chart, it really tells the story, doesn't it? Back in 1965, Japan was pretty much feeding itself, producing almost 3/4 of its own food. Fast forward to today, and that number has absolutely plummeted to just 38%. That's a huge drop. And what it means is that the country is now incredibly dependent on global supply chains, which, as we know, can get disrupted pretty easily. You know, most of us live with this unspoken assumption, right? We just expect it. We turn on the tap, water comes out. We flip a switch, the lights come on. We never really stop to think about the incredibly complex systems that make all that happen. But how strong are those systems really? This slide just breaks it down so perfectly. Think about a modern high-rise apartment building. When the power goes out, it's not just that the lights are off. The water pumps stop working, which means no water from the tap. Toilets won't flush. The whole system of convenience we depend on just grinds to a halt. That symbol of modern living suddenly becomes a trap. And listen, this isn't just some hypothetical what-if scenario. The recent rice shortages and the crazy price spikes in Japan, they are a direct result of a really surprising culprit, government policy. For decades, farmers were actually paid not to grow rice, the nation's staple food. It's just a stark reminder that a food crisis doesn't need a war to happen. Sometimes, all it takes is the stroke of a pen. So, the crucial point is, all of this fragility, all of these weak spots in our system, they force us right back to that fundamental question from the very beginning. In a world like this, what should we really be valuing? We're taught to see certain things as symbols of success, right? A super fast sports car, for example. It screams power, freedom. But what happens when the definition of practical gets put to the ultimate test? In a real emergency, that symbol of status is basically a gas-guzzling machine that can't even carry the supplies you need to survive. I know, it sounds like a silly question, but it gets right to the heart of the matter. We put this huge value on luxury goods, but that value, it's just a social agreement. It's only valuable because we all agree it is. When that agreement falls apart because people are focused on basic survival, what's a designer bag really worth? And beyond just having enough food, there's another, sneakier problem: the quality of the food we eat. We put our trust in this giant global system to feed us. But what do we actually know about the pesticides, the preservatives, and all the processing our food goes through on its long trip to our kitchen table? And the stakes for our health, they have never been higher. The statistic is just, it's staggering. In Japan, it's projected that 1 out of every 2 people will get cancer in their lifetime. Now, the causes are complicated, of course, but it's pretty hard to ignore the potential role our modern, heavily processed diet plays in all of this. It really makes you ask, are we just surviving or are we actually thriving? So when you look at all of this, the fragile supply chains, our skewed sense of value, the health crises, it's easy to feel a little hopeless, right? But for some, all that anxiety actually became the spark for a new idea, a way to build a life that's more resilient and, well, more meaningful. And that's where the Yugami Project comes in. It's a direct answer to the anxieties of our time.
It's not about escaping the world, but about rethinking it. It's an attempt to create a space that puts the real essentials first. The things human beings need to not just survive, but to truly be healthy and thrive.
And what's so powerful about it is its simplicity. The whole project is built on the three things that no living creature can survive without: clean food, clean water, and clean air. It's a conscious choice to get back to basics, to secure these essentials outside of those fragile industrial systems we become so dependent on. In a way, it's the modern answer to the lesson that Grandma learned all those years ago. And hey, this isn't some brand new untested idea. There's actually a really powerful real-world model for this. In Russia, they have the dacha system, basically country homes with garden plots. For decades, it's allowed millions of families to grow their own food, helping the country get through severe food shortages and even economic collapse. But here's the thing. The Yugami project isn't just about creating a personal safe house to ride out a storm. Its vision is actually much bigger. It's trying to tackle some of the deeper problems that are facing the country's land and its natural environment. So in that context, creating a retreat that's focused on nature becomes an act of preservation. Japan's beautiful countryside is facing some serious threats right now. From these giant mega solar farms that cause deforestation and increase landslide risks, to foreign land purchases that really don't care about the local environment.
And this really gets to the heart of the Yugami project and its whole philosophy. It's the culmination of everything we've talked about. The goal isn't to save the world overnight. It's a small activity, just one retreat. But the hope is that it can be a catalyst, a little spark that gets more people to just pause, take a breath, and ask themselves that fundamental question: what is truly important? So we end right where we began, with a question that was sparked by a grandmother's memory of a world where a single potato held more value than a fistful of cash. It's a question that challenges every single one of us to look past all the noise of modern life and really think about our own values, our own resilience, and what truly, truly matters to you. Thanks for joining us.